Tom Emerson here from La Quinta Country Club with another episode of The Wine Guys. I'm here with Scott Halterline, certified sommelier, and he's going to take us through some of his portfolio today.
And I am Scott Halterline, a certified sommelier, and these are 4 wines that I represent. I work for Breakthrough Beverage Group. And I'm just going to run through them really quick so you kind of have an idea of what makes all these wines special. So this one is the Tate Sauvignon Blanc. It's a single vineyard, Wolf's Vineyard from St. Helena, Napa. David Tate's not only a great friend, he's also the winemaker and GM at Barnett Vineyards, and this is his small family production, less than 1,000 cases produced. Rocco is a great Pinot Noir. Started the original owner at Argyle, which is the first sparkling wine producer with Willamette in Oregon. He's also spun off here and he makes Rocco small batch, single vineyard, Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, and this is sort of the cuvee of Willamette that he uses from those single vineyards. Denner is a great product. This was the original owner of the Ditch Witch, and he started this boutique winery in the Willow Creek district in Paso Robles. This is his new by the glass Cabernet called the New Colossus. A lot of Willow Creek district Cabernet in here. It's a very beautiful little district, kind of close to Adelaida Hills in the ocean. A nice microclimate to grow Cabernet and Rhone varietals. And then this is a classic that you probably have heard or seen before. This is the Stag's Leap Winery iconic Petite Sirah from Napa. Stag's Leap District is also its namesake from this winery. This winery has been around since 1893, the first and the original. And those are some beautiful wines that I'm presenting to Mr. Tom Emerson, and for you, the Wine Guys. All right, we were just touching base on some wines, now we're gonna touch base on appellations. So obviously we all know Napa Valley, one of the most famous appellations in all of the world, and definitely in California. Put American wine on the map in the 70s. Stag's Leap District is sort of in the southeast. It's against the Mykonos mountain range, I apologize. And as we know, Napa Valley is synonymous with beautiful Cabernet and Chardonnay. Although we do talk about Napa a lot, you have to remember it's a very small appellation. It's only about 30 miles long and 7 miles wide at its widest. The center of that area is probably the best, which would be Rutherford, St. Helena. It's almost like a loaf of bread, and that's the middle slice, the most prestige. If you go down to Paso Robles, this is where Denner is located. Rhone varietals kind of reigned until Dow got 100 points with the 2017 or 2016 Patrimony. That put Cabernet on the map, although Cabernet was always grown there for as long as I can remember. Gary Eberly, who's been their iconic wine producer there for a long time, always promoted Cabernet in this area. This is one of the original areas planted the grapes, going as far back as the Spanish missionaries. One of the newer areas that we have here going to 60s or 70s would have been Oregon. It's on the same longitudinal line as Burgundy, France. Oregon is very well known for Pinot Noir. It grows just as good there as it would in Burgundy. We like to say that it has a new world, but an old world soul. And the one thing I love about Oregon is they protect the integrity of Pinot Noir. So to be Pinot Noir on the label, it at least has to be around 90 to 95% Pinot Noir. Tate is kind of a cool wine because what they're looking for is small growers, very small winery looking for small growers. And what this grower was probably doing beforehand was just selling their grapes on the open market to a large producer in Napa, like Beringer, for example. And David Tate and Suzanne Tate would come to them and say, hey, why don't we make a single expression wine? We'll bottle it, it'll just be your vineyard, we'll name it after you, Wolf's Vineyard, and you can actually finally taste what that piece of land that you have been farming for decades will actually produce. 160 case production, really showcasing the microcosm and climate of Napa on a whole different type of scale and level. Great wines.
I'm about to taste the Rocco Willamette Pinot Noir, and then revisit some of the bigger Cabernets and Petite Sirah.
I shall pour you some. The Stalker Rocco Pinot Noir from Willamette Valley. Rich fruit,
Nice.
A little bit of graphite, long finish.
It is long. Okay, and then Denner, am I pronouncing that correctly?
Denner, the New Colossus. So here's a Cabernet that Tom, if you wanted to, could have by the glass here at the beautiful La Quinta Country Club.
Wow, I would not have guess that is possible.
And Denner, being a very small producer, typically all their wines are allocated and or sold out within a month. But this one's widely available, so it's kind of a nice proposition.
I would not. I guess that is Napa.
Yeah, it's really dark up. Grapefruit. And then here's the classic. Iconic Petite Sirah from Stag's Leap Winery. Now there's two Stag's Leaps. There's Stag's Leap Wine Cellars, which Tom I think visited recently. Theirs was the Cabernet that won the Judgment of Paris in 1976, with the 1973 Stag's Leap Cellars Napa Cabernet. So we're celebrating that 50th anniversary of the Judgment of Paris because it's 2026, and probably the current vintage of it would be 2023. So this year would be the 50th anniversary of both the vintage and the Judgment. And also the same is true for Montelena. So Chateau Montelena would have won in the Chardonnay category, and it is occurring at 2023. And I think Tom visited Montelena as well. So he did a 50-year anniversary tour when he was in Napa of some of the Judgment of Paris wines.
Actually, we were at Chateau Montelena, who did the Chardonnay, and we went to Stag's Leap Wine Cellars and had their Cabernet. And coincidentally, a side note, I met my wife with a 1977 bottle of Stag's Leap Winery Petite Sirah. What year was that? 77, 20, 50 years ago? Wow.
The wine that started it all.
Happy anniversary. Scott, thank you for your insights and samples.
Salute.
And thank you for another episode of The Wine Guys.